Welcome. Welcome back to Digital class, and today we'll be focusing on the part 5 of the chapter 4, number representation and calculation. So what's special about this chapter is that this chapter talks about the 7 ways that we can show that we are professional. However, the first 3 ways that we have discussed are requiring exponential notation knowledge, and the fourth and the fifth that we'll be discussing today does not require the knowledge. So the Egyptian numeration system. So what's special about this numeration system is that as long as you have this table here, you are able to do all the questions. It doesn't require those hard, difficult calculation. Okay. So look at here. The Hindu Arabic numerals 1, 10, 100,000, 10,000, 100,000, and 1 million. So each of these represented by an image or a drawing, which is actually an Egyptian numerals. So for example here, 1 in Egyptian numerals is just a line here, and the 10 actually is like a cover, 100 is like a tornado, 1,000 is like a plants, but the plants that will eat the people, and 10,000 is like a fingernail, and 100,000 is like a tadpole, and 1 million is like a people, like a person. Okay, so what we're gonna do is much more easier. You need to remember that the operations, okay, operation in between the symbol is always addition, which means that all those symbols here, actually it has an addition in between actually. Okay, but it doesn't show up, of course. So basically it means that when you look at this one, this is referring to 1 million. So you put here 1 million plus there's 2 fingernails. Fingernails represent 10,000. So you'll be adding 20,000 because there's 2, right? That's 20,000. And the cover we have 3, which means the plus 30, 1, 2, 3. And we have 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 lines here, which means that it's 1. So basically we can come up with the conclusion that all this symbol gives you the numbers of 1, 0, 2, 0, 0, 3, 4. Is that okay? But basically just adding up, okay? 4, 4, 34, 20,000 with 34, and 1 million. Okay, so the next one will be the same idea. So what does this plant represent? It represents 1,000. So 1,000. So how many tornadoes do we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So 700. Actually, is a spiral. Okay. How many cover do we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it is 50. How many lines do we have? 1, 2. So we have 2. So this gives you 1,752. Okay, isn't that easy? Now, you need to understand that this symbol actually always arrange from the biggest to the smallest, just like this also, biggest to the smallest. So now, when we need to write our own Egyptian numerals, we also need to follow the rules. We start with the biggest numbers and we end with the smallest number. So now we have 1,534. So 1,000, which means that it should have a flower here, 1,000. So we have a flower here. Okay, 1,000 we have. And 500. 500 means that we need to have 5, the tornado or the spiral. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We have 1,534. So we need to have 30. We need to have 3 cover. So 1, 2, 3. Of course, you can draw a bit bigger. Let me just draw it nicely. Okay, 1, 2, 3. And the last 4, which we need to have 4 lines. 1, 2, 3, 4. And that's it. That's how we write the Egyptian numerals. Okay, how about the next one? 2563. 2000. This means we need to have 2 beautiful flower. Okay. Okay, 2000. 500 means that we need to have 5 spiral or tornadoes. 4, 5. 63 means that we need to have 6 cover. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And 3B3 line. 1, 2, 3. That's it. So it's kind of easy, huh, for the Egyptian numeration system, but you just need to remember that it is an addition between all the symbol, and it is starting from the biggest to the lowest. Okay, and you need to remember this table. Okay, that's it for the Egyptian numeration system. Let's continue with the Roman numeration system. So before I scrolling down, let me just ask you, what the Roman numeration system or the numerals that you know? I believe that you will say, I know this is 1, this is 2, this is 3, this is 4, this is 5, this is 6, this is 7, this is 8, uh, this is 9, this is 10. Yeah, basically everyone knows that, okay, this is 1, this is 2, maybe at most they will know until 12. Why? Because those are the numerals that sometimes you see in our watch. Like, the watch that we wear always, sometimes it's given in Roman numerals. And it is quite actually well known for the Roman numerals. But how can we really understand or write something bigger than that? The numbers are bigger than that. Okay, so let's learn how to write this. Roman numeration system, it is actually mainly focused only with these numbers: the I, the V, the X, the L, the C, the D, and the M. So I, V, X, L, C, D, and M. So this I represent 1, as you know, V represent 5, as you know, X represent 10, as you know. However, we doesn't know that actually there's also L represent 50, there's also C represent 100, D represent 500, and also M represent 1000. So you might think, how can I remember this I, V, X, L, C, D, M? So of course, they also have a acronym. Say, my dear cat loves extra vitamins intensely, which means that you can see from here, it has M, D, C, L, X, V, I. M, D, C, L, X, V, I. Yeah, that is what it is, okay? Yeah, so you can use the method here to remember. And you also need to remember that just like the Egyptian numeration system, we will always write the biggest Roman numerals at the left to the smallest on the right. However, there's a trick here. We will always write M, the biggest on the left side, right? Then I should be always on the right side. However, sometimes you might see, you say that, teacher Low say that um, the biggest should be on the left, right? The smallest should be on the right. But why there's something like this? Like IV, it shouldn't be VI, right? Actually, it always should write the biggest on the left and the smallest on the right, just like this case. 5 plus I is 1, so which gives you 6. However, when you write I and V in these ways, which means that it is opposite, this actually means that 5 minus 1, which gives you 4. Just like what we have learned here. 1, 2, 3, 4. IV. IV, which gives you 4. However, VI will give you 6. 5, 6. Okay, so from here, I believe that you understand that we need to always write from the biggest to the lowest, except when you want to indicate a number that should be written. That's when you need to minus to get the number. So for example, you might think that, 4, you can just write here 1, 2, 3, 4, like just like the Egyptian numeration system, just 1, 2, 3, 4. But Roman numeration system try to avoid that there's many numerals here. That's why when you write here 1, 2, 3, 4, actually there's 4 numerals. Then it will be better if you can use 1, 5 in this way, as when you change the position to get 4, so that you have 2 numerals instead of two numerals instead of 4 numerals here. Okay, so let's look at this question. Okay, CLXVII. So let's check whether it is in the sequence. Okay, C, okay, this is C, L, this is L, X, V, I. So we know that this is from the biggest to the smallest. So we don't need to worry about the addition or subtraction. This will be always addition. So C represent 100, L will represent 50, X will represent 10, V represent 5, and 1 will represent 2. So we know that this is 167. And that's it. Okay, let's look at this one. Here says that MCM. You know, M is here, C is here. But in the next one, it goes back to M, which means that these two forms a subtraction. Okay, and then X is here. Then suddenly come back to C. Then we know that this part also form a subtraction. Then V, then I. Okay, there will be good. So let's look at here. So what should we write? M stand for 1000. Okay, plus CM, which means that because it switched the places, which means that it should be subtraction. So it should mean that 1000 M and C is 100, so minus. And plus X and C. We know X is 10, C is 100, so here means that 100 minus 10. Okay, then we add V and I, which means that 5 plus 1. So we know that this is 1000 plus 900 plus 900 plus 90 plus 6, which equivalent to 1999 for the question here. Okay, but you need to remember here actually there's a restriction here. Says that I can only be subtracted only by V and X, which means that you can write in this way or in this way, but you are not allowed to write IL. Yeah, that is not allowed because I can only be subtracted by V and X. And the same case for X, you can only be subtracted by L and C can be only subtracted by D and M. Okay, so let's look at the next question. M, C, C. But suddenly there's a D here, which go back to the bigger number. So you know that this involve subtraction. Okay, and the next one X, and the next one L. It goes back to the bigger number, which means that this part also require a subtraction. And the next one is V, I. Okay, so let's figure out what's this. M represent 1000. CD, which means that is 100 and 500, which means that is 500 minus 100, which just simplify it become 400. And the next one is XL, which means that 50 minus 10, which gives you 40. And VII, V which gives you 5, and II which gives you 2. So in this case, we know that the answer here will be 1447. Okay, let's look at the next question. Now, the questions require us to write the Hindu Arabic numerals into Roman numerals. So of course we need to follow the rules that we need to always write the bigger number than the smaller number. So let's look at here. 504 is closest to which Roman numerals? Which number here? So basically you can see that 504 is the closest to 500, right? Then we can write here D. Okay, and now D means that 500. So 504 minus 500, which means that we still have 4, which means that we need to use the Roman numerals here to form a 4. And I believe that you might think, 4, we can do this, right? 1, 1, 1, 1. But remember, if we have a simpler way, then we should go for that. Which means that instead of writing 4, 4, 4, 4, we can write 5 minus 4. I mean 5 minus 1. So the way of writing 5 minus 1 is to switch the 1 and the 5, which means that it will be D, I, V. IV means 4. D means 500. So 500 plus 4 is 504. Okay, so let's look at the next one. 227. So let's look at here. Which numbers are closest to 227? I believe that you say C, right? Because C is 100. So we can write here C, C. There will be 200. How about here? 2, 20, 27, right? 27. We can write here X, X. 220. How about 7? 7 we can write here 5 and 1, 1, right? So we got 5 plus 2. So it will be 5, 1, 1. So the answer for 227 will be CCXXVII. And that's it. So thank you so much for watching this video. And this is the Egyptian numeration system and also the Roman numeration system. And that's how we do this. Okay. So if you have any questions, please comment below and be safe for the rest of the journey.